now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to introduce our second speaker, Dr. Yahia Baiza. Dr. Yahia is a research associate at the Institute of Ismaili Studies, IIS, London. He received his PhD in education and his master's degree in educational research methodology from the University of Oxford's Department of Education. He also completed a 2-year graduate program in Islamic Studies and Humanities at the IIS and the School of Oriental and South African Studies. From the University of London he also has a degree in engineering technology from the Industrial College, Slovakia, previously known as Czechoslovakia. Dr. Baiza served as the national representative of the UNESCO International Institute of Educational Planning and at the Ministry of Education in Afghanistan. He is an educational supervisor at the IIS and educational consultant and reviewer of academic articles, educational programs and curriculum for Afghanistan, and an educational analyst for BBC Persia Radio. Please welcome.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to extend from here my heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families in Afghanistan and those who are present here and if they have lost their loved ones in Afghanistan. I'm honored by your invitation and pleased for this opportunity to talk on this occasion. I'd like to talk about the 3 subjects that are close to my heart and also related to the event of today, and that's migration, education, and a culture of true humanism. Before I start my talk, I would like to congratulate the many young men and women who have put together a great effort to organize this event. It is indeed striking to realize how much potential is within the diasporic community of Afghanistan here in Britain, and particularly among so many young male and female students. And I'm deeply pleased to see how much you dedicate generously your time for events like this. Let me begin my speech with a few verses from the master of speech of Ustad Sukhan, the great Sadi Shirazi. And I think the verse that I'm going to recite is very much related to the event of today and to what Ms. Roshana and Ms. Rahla has already flagged in their speeches. استاد سخن سعدی بزرگ در دیوان گلستان چنین می‌فرماید: بنی آدم اعضای یکدیگرند که در آفرینش ز یک جاهند، چه عضو را بدل آورد روزگار، دیگر عضوها را نماند قرار. تو کز محنتی دیگران دلغمی، نشاید که نامت نهم آدمی. The English translation of this poem, which won't be as good as the Persian one, but the way Sadi himself put it, it sounds like this. The children of Adam, Adam could also mean here humanity, are each other's limbs. In creation, they are from one single gem. When one limb passes its days in pain, the other limbs cannot remain easy. You who feel no pain at the suffering of others, it is not fitting you be called human. Today's event is a manifestation of this poem, of the idea that great Sadi has put into his verses. The fact that you are here today, it shows and you demonstrate that you are not indifferent to what happened in Afghanistan. And the fact that you are here shows that you feel the pain of the people who currently in this harsh winter time in Afghanistan suffer. And obviously, there's no way that we here could have, in a true sense of the word, a grain of the pain who have been hit by avalanches or any other human or natural catastrophe in Afghanistan. So it's very difficult to feel what they do feel. But for the fact that we are here to show that we are not indifferent, that's what matters. And we need events like this more often. The more often we organize events like this, the more often we develop some of the very fine and subtle human feeling that lie deep into our souls, which we rarely get time to reflect upon that, and to bring it down from our spirit, from our soul, to express it verbally, express it through action, and express it through emotions. And the reason for that, I'm going to talk in my speech why it is that. And here I would like to expand this act of consciousness, an act of conscious generosity a little bit further, and look at it in the context of migration, education, and a culture of true humanism. Although these three concepts, education, migration, and a culture of true humanism, sound to be three different separate subjects, but in reality they are not. And I show you why they are not different, why they are interlinked. Your presence today here shows that these three concepts, migration, education, and culture of true humanism, are present among us here. We are a diasporic community from Afghanistan living in Britain. So my first term, migration, or diaspora, has already been proven here, because we all are out of our ancestral homeland. I'm not talking original homeland, I'm talking ancestral homeland. The reason I'm talking ancestral homeland, because many of you, particularly the younger generation, might have been born here, or might have been grown up here from early childhood. So for many of you, Afghanistan is your ancestral homeland. Your real homeland is here, Britain. Afghanistan is your ancestral homeland. Your real homeland is here, Britain. Because either you are born here or grown up from your early age. But for those who have migrated from Afghanistan at the age of 20 or so and have a sound memory of Afghanistan, Afghanistan is your homeland. And Britain is your new homeland. So never think that Britain is not your homeland. It is your homeland. So, and that I can see that many of you, and I can see almost all of you, have been educated or you are currently studying. So you are in a diasporic community, but again, you are also, either you finished your studies or you are studying. So it means that migration and education are linked together. And I want to draw your attention on the concept of education here. Please remember, the opportunities that you have got here in Britain is not something that you are entitled for. And I want to repeat it. The opportunities that you have here for business, for health, for education, for good life, for being away from avalanches, for being away from suicide bombings, and for many others. You are not entitled for this. If you are entitled for this, why those who are left behind in Afghanistan are not entitled? So you have to think about this. Now, thinking about this, it puts a responsibility on each and every one of us. If I'm not entitled for this, either accidentally given to me, or by the great effort of my parents who have migrated from Afghanistan to the UK, and they brought me here. So what responsibility lies on me, personally, what responsibility lies on me from my family, and what responsibility lies on me in relation to my ancestral homeland. Now I want to tell you one thing. That responsibility is that you make sure that you get the best out of the opportunities that you have. The best, not the mediocre, not the average, the best. Because there are so many people in Afghanistan, in the remote valleys of Panjshir, Bamiyan, Badakhshan, Badakhshan, Herat, Helmand, Kandahar, Kunar, you name it. And there are so many people in Pakistan, in the remote valleys, in Peshawar, in Africa, in many other parts of the world, do not have access to a little of what you have access here. So there are so many people of your age that want to have access to education, but they cannot. So while you are here and you have the opportunity, don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. Thank you. So this is a responsibility that I'm here and I have the opportunity, I should take care of that. And the fact that we are my diasporic community and we all are students or have been studying here, so already I proved to you that migration and education are linked together. And my third concept is a culture of true humanism. And I proved that that also is linked together in the fact that we are here today for an event of fundraising. For an event of fundraising, the cause of which is a natural disaster. By your participation here, not by your financial contribution, merely just by your participation here, by just being on these seats, you show a culture of humanism. You show a culture that you care and you think about other human beings who may or may not be related to you in terms of religion, nationality, language, or any other personal identity. Another thing that I wanted to tell you is that being a diasporic community is a blessed community. Being a diasporic community is a blessed community. You are a blessed community compared to the native people in Britain and compared to people in Afghanistan. Why? Because you have at least two sets of solid cultural values. You have at least two sets of solid cultural values. One set of cultural values come to you very naturally through your parents, through your communities, through your relatives, in which you are born and grown up. So that's your, if I may call you, Afghanistan culture, Afghan culture, whatever way you want to name it. So you get it through blood. And you are blessed by another set of very solid culture, and that's the British culture. And you get it through education, you get it because you're born here, or you get it because you have been raised in this country. And this is not available to everybody outside the United Kingdom. And let me tell you, Britain has a great tradition of culture. Don't take it lightly. It's a country that has produced many scientists, many thinkers, philosophers, many big minds in education. So there's a lot to learn. I'm not saying that you have to adopt every single what comes under the name of culture. No, but there are a lot of cultural elements that we can learn from here. And this very blessed culture that the diasporic communities have, I term it as diasporic culture. I term it as diasporic culture because diasporic culture combines these two cultures. And one very unique thing about diaspora is that you all speak at least two languages, at least. One is the language of your mother tongue, maybe Pashto, Persian, Farsi, Uzbeki, Turkmeni, Pamiri, maybe Hindi, those who are from India, Urdu from Pakistan, and you speak English. And of course, many of you are talented, you speak more than two languages. Now coming to offering charitable donations. Offering charitable donations and being generous to others and offering a supporting hand has a long tradition in our cultures, and it has a long tradition in other cultures as well. In Islam, it is part of religious belief. So it is also with the other religions, whether Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism. The culture of humanism is present in every religion. You carry this act of generosity with your religion. And that, if you look in Islam, you have something called zakat. Zakat is part of religious belief, is a pillar of our faith. But what you do here today is different from zakat. What you do here is different from zakat. You know how to pay zakat, you know when to pay zakat, and you know to whom to pay zakat. It is a religious ritual. You do it ritualistically. If you do something regularly, it becomes a ritual. You do it ritualistically. You do it for the sake of religion. When you do it, your mind is God-oriented. But what you do here today is different. It is different because you're not obliged to be here today. By a religious ordinance, let us say, by fact, let us say, jurisprudence, none of you are obliged to be present here today. But you are here by your free will, by your own emotions. And that is part of religious belief. But this action actually happens if you internalize your religious belief deeper into your soul, and you understand that. And that I call religious ethics, akhlaq dini. Events of such and fundraising, it happens at the high level. When you pray 5 times a day, that's a ritual. But when you do a conscious act of goodness, that's not a ritual. When you pray often, your mind goes to your business. Your mind goes to your essays. Your mind goes to your deadlines. Your mind goes to for your children, for something else. Even it's often difficult for you to keep systematically concentrating on your prayer. Why? Because it is a ritualistic act. You do it ritually. But if you raise your hand and if you pray for someone, that's not a ritualistic act. That's a conscious act. And that's the religious ethics. That's at a high level. Fundraising like this and participating in events like this, it is at a higher intellectual and moral level. And the fact that many of you have come together today, by your presence here, you're demonstrating, you are demonstrating that you are at a higher consciousness, at a higher ethical consciousness. And that's what matters. I want to take the event of fundraising today to a higher level. And I would like you to pay close attention to what I'm saying. I'm really deeply moved by the organizers of this event. The fact that they have come to this idea that let us come together and raise fund for people in Afghanistan. And I want to take this at a high level, and I would like you to remember this point. We need events like this more and more. There's no doubt about it. Because it connects us. It connects us with communities back in Afghanistan. But more than that, it brings something out from us, deep from inside of us, which we really rarely pay attention to that. And that's our human feeling. That's what matters. Now I want to take this to a higher level, and I don't want to take much of the time of the organizers either. I would like you to pay attention that fundraising like this is not the solution. It is good. It is, we share sympathy with the people who have been affected. But it is not the real solution. The real solution lies in addressing and attacking the source of the problem. And now I tell you where is the source of the problem. If we had in Panjshir, and if we have, or if we had in Badakhshan, or in other parts of Afghanistan or Bamiyan, proper roads, if we had a good architecture, if houses were built solidly, not from mud, but from concrete, if the drainage system and barriers against floods and avalanches, the natural disaster would not cause this large human losses. Now, I want to put this is what I suggest to you, that whatever degree you are studying here, whether it's medicine, business, architecture, education, road building, construction, please do it at the utmost highest level with the highest quality. And then go back to Afghanistan and change the face of medicine, change the face of road building, change the face of construction. If people like you will be able to make changes there, if we will have better roads, we could have better access to the bereaved families, to people who are on the snow. If we have better houses, then people can survive better in earthquake and flood and other disasters. And now, UK and universities here give you the best opportunity for education. Please take it seriously and do your best to qualify with the best degrees and take that experience and take it back to Afghanistan or wherever a human life needs help. And that's how we build the relationship with the others in the name of humanity, not in the name of religion, not in the name of ethnicity, not in the name of language, but in the name of humanity. Whatever contributions today you have made, or yesterday, or you will make tomorrow, the amount does not matter. What matters is that the expression of your love. That's what counts. And I think that's the best way to connect ourselves back to ancestral homeland and back to the people who have been affected.